Hey everybody, and welcome to another YouTube Live Q&A. It is August, what is it, August 11th or something like that, 2017. This is Roberto Blake of robertoblake.com helping you create something awesome today. So, welcome to the live stream. I've been a little bit MIA lately because I've actually spent the last week traveling. I'm just getting back from 2 conferences. I did a total of 10 stage talks. I did 10 stage talks. It was pretty exhausting, but it was amazing. It was a great opportunity. Mostly, a lot of it covered video marketing and YouTube stuff, and that was great. I'll be posting those videos online over the coming weeks. Plus, I'll be also chopping those up and doing that. Plus, there was some content that I recorded in terms of some collabs with Daryl Eves, Sean Cannell, Brett Conti, and a few other people. I also got to work with Founders, which is a business incubator in New York for millennial entrepreneurs. So it's been a busy last 7 or 8 days. It's been a lot, and I've also taken a whole bunch of meetings. So much is happening. I can't wait to share some of that with you guys later. Also, thank you for helping the channel grow to 250,000 subscribers. We reached that milestone over the weekend or earlier in the week or something like that. I'm losing track of days now, but I think it was a couple of days ago we hit 250,000 subscribers, so thank you so much. The 250,000 thank you live stream with shoutouts will happen more toward the end of the month for everybody who's donated to the charity water campaign that I'm doing over in Twitter. So thank you guys for all the support in Twitter, and thank you for donating to charity water. Everybody who's donated $10 to charity water under that campaign will get a shout out in that thank you live stream, and I'll even do some during that live stream if people keep giving to the campaign. So that's gonna be that's gonna be awesome, and I am going to list the channels that donated in the description of that live stream. So that's more toward the end of the month. I didn't want to do it exactly when we hit 250,000. I wanted to give more people the opportunity to donate to the campaign so we can help people get clean drinking water, which we're definitely privileged to have. And so those are some of the things going on. But today's live stream is going to be around YouTube analytics. I'm going to show some of mine on the screen. I'm going to take a few questions. This is something I want to go over because I want to explain the features of YouTube analytics. It's less that I'm like, it's less of a reveal. I've done this before on the channel. It's more of I want to explain the terminology behind YouTube analytics and teach you guys how to read YouTube analytics to help you grow your channel, because I think that many people are still underestimating the role that the YouTube dashboard and the YouTube analytics play in how they think about their channel and where you analyze your overall growth. So I think that this is important, and that's why I want to talk about it. Oh, we got our first super chat. So Poet Blizz says $2. Thank you for all of the videos. It has helped a lot. Glad to hear that it's helped. I see a lot of you in the chat. I see Patrick in the chat, and I see a ton of other people. Thank you, Ferris. Thank you, Chantel Hills. Appreciate all your support. Jimmy Changa, how's it going? So yeah, Mike Polas is here. Awesome. So yeah, there's a lot of people here, some familiar faces. So I really appreciate you guys showing up for the live stream. Don't forget that you can donate in Super Chat if you want to. That does help out the channel. Please support any YouTubers that you want to contribute to and that you enjoy their content, because it really does help. And please share out the live stream, especially since we're going to go into the deep dive of analytics. And the thing here is some of this will be technical. I will try to answer your questions about the analytics. There are some things I can't show. There are reports in YouTube that in the terms of service I can't show you, but the majority of it I can. But also, I don't want to do a 3-hour live stream. I really want to just help you understand what these menu options are, because I know it's a little intimidating. Clifford Starks, keep holding it down, Roberto. Great content. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the $2. Really appreciate you. So let's go ahead and go to my screen capture over here. For those of you who are not familiar with my live streams, I am using Wirecast Studio. I did buy that. It is not cheap. You can do some of this with OBS, but I just prefer the ease of use and the lack of a learning curve to Wirecast instead. So what we're seeing here is the main YouTube analytics dashboard. This is for the last 30 days. It's probably better if I go and I review last month and look at July, just because that's a full month instead of it being up until this point. So that's going to be more accurate for you guys in general. So let's see. Can I turn my mic up a bit is what somebody's asking. I think that I've adjusted the gain as high as it will go. So I don't think that I can. The best I can do is probably try to get a little closer to the mic, but that's physically uncomfortable for me. So let's see here. All right. So this is YouTube Analytics, and this is your general overview. I know that this can get a little bit confusing, but I'll try to explain it. So what I did was over here, I picked last month, which is July, just because that gives us a complete month to look at, all 31 days of July. And you can see here that this has a lot of different things that you can look at, and we'll sort through some of these. I'll try to get through some of the basics, and then I'll go through some of the more complicated features. So there are a couple of things here. You can search out specific content or locations, but that is a little bit more complicated than most of you need to bother with. And you see here that says live and on-demand video. This shows the stats for regular recorded videos as well as live videos, so it's the entire content of the channel. If I just go to live, it'll tell me specifically just what happens with the live streams and the data associated with that over that month-long period. If I go to just recorded videos, it'll take the live streams out of the equation, and you can see what that does here. But the obvious preference is to have both your live and your on-demand videos so that you can see the whole channel. You can also see, well, what are you getting in terms of views and watch time and everything from people who aren't subscribed to your channel. If I click that, we can see that a good portion, the overwhelming majority of my views, are from non-subscribers, and we can see some stats associated with that. Now, if we go to just the people who subscribed, we can see that I don't get nearly as much watch time from people who haven't converted over yet, and that they do only make up a fraction of the views, maybe 25%. So it's a lot of new people coming in and discovery. So that's interesting to know, and that could probably help you figure out some things as far as, well, is more of my content being watched by just my subscribers, or am I getting new people? And that's kind of a growth metric to look at. So you have that. This tells us the date range here. This is watch time, and you can see that this is the first thing. So it's the thing YouTube cares the most about. And we can see that it's up for the month 1.7%. That's what this green indicator is it tells you if you're up or down. On views, we're only down by 2% compared to the previous month, and it tells us that date range down there, so that's good for us to know. Let's see. It also does this like revenue thing, and I know that people say you can't show your revenue. Technically you can. What you can't show is you can't show the revenue panels of this and transaction rate, but the legal jargon, as well as you guys know, sometimes YouTube isn't clear in what they communicate, so it's just easier to not show that. So when YouTubers say they can't show it, that's what they're talking about. It's just that the legal jargon with YouTube is typically so confusing that it's better safe for those people than sorry. But again, this is like a stupid thing that people like to show off and say, hey, I'm revealing and I'm showing you what I make and blah, blah, blah. But that's stupid because you're not going to see what people make on the back end with sponsorships. You're not going to see what they make with affiliate deals. You're not going to see what they make on things they sell. You're not going to see what they get with sponsors. It's just a stupid thing when people say, oh, I'll reveal how much money I make on YouTube. It's all nonsense, and there's no real way to know, and it's nobody's business. It's not anybody's business. So that's just what I would say about that. It's like, if you guys care about it, well, there it is. Boo-hoo. Like, you could probably find that on Social Blade anyway. The important things for you guys to look at here are that YouTube considers both likes and dislikes as engagement, and it considers all of it to the positive. Cam's Toy Box, don't give me props for showing my income because it's not my actual income. This is a fraction of my income from 20 different revenue streams, and I think that's nonsense when people get excited about people showing that. It's stupid. And I know that's not a popular opinion on YouTube, but I'm going to tell you how I feel because I don't care about being liked. I'm going to tell you that I feel that that's stupid. And that's just me. And I know that probably comes off as condescending to some people. Oh, well, this is Roberto Blake's channel. This is Roberto Blake telling you the honest truth instead of throwing out fake positivity. I throw out real positivity because optimistically, it doesn't matter how much ad revenue I make in YouTube. What matters is how much can you make? Can you make revenue doing what you enjoy doing? Can you make it off of your content? That's what's more important. It's like, who cares what I make? You're not me. You know, who cares what this person makes or that person makes? We're not them. Every YouTube channel is different, and every YouTube channel gets different ad rates and different view monetization. It's all different. So this doesn't mean anything, you know? So I don't know why people like to cheerlead it. Now here's where we have to get into some interesting things. These green indicators tell you if you're up versus your previous month, and it gives you the date range. Comments are important. All of this are the engagement metrics. A lot of people think that subscribers are the biggest important thing, but overall we know that watch time and average view duration is because that's at the top here. That's not an accident on YouTube's part. So making sure that this grows over a period of time and this grows over a period of time is important. We don't lose as much for this you know, being a thing. So, you know, I would say that these top line things matter more than these just based on where they're laid out. But again, this just tells you that these are the things YouTube is measuring. So if you're trying to measure whether your channel is successful, you have these 10 metrics that you can kind of go off of. Are you growing more watch time overall? Is it high? Is it better than last month? Is your average view duration increasing? Are you getting more views or close to the average amount of views? Are you profitable? Those are the things that you probably want to pay attention to as far as the top 4, but these are 10 metrics that YouTube pays attention to. And I would imagine that YouTube cares about channels that are making them more money because they are a for-profit business. So that matters. Now, the other thing is these top 10 performing videos for the month, you want to know about that, and you'll notice that once again, YouTube prioritizes watch time minutes over views, and then after that, it's about revenue because they know that matters to us as creators, but they're looking at what videos ultimately bring you the most watch time, and then views are a part of that, and you'll notice that views and watch time don't always correlate. Some videos with less views can generate more watch time, and some videos can have less views and generate equal or more revenue. You'll notice that this one has less views than a few of these, but generated more revenue. So the correlation between views and revenue isn't always equal. It depends on the individual videos and what ads that they can trigger overall. So yeah, there's Falcon Lover asks, how can you make so much money with only 0.7 million views a month? In my case, I'd only make 700 to 800 is what he's saying. It's because every channel is unique and different, because my channel is getting the best ads that it can possibly pull based on content that I'm doing, versus your channel might get more views but not be able to pull better paying advertisers. So that matters. Someone asked, a little bit nihilistic much? No, it's not nihilistic. It's that here's the reality. The reality is it's like people are sitting there and they're watching what other people do instead of putting their head down and doing the work and focusing on themselves. Because if you focus on your own development and your own improvement and you're not looking at other people, you won't be jealous of them, you won't be envious of them, you won't get discouraged by the fact that you're not performing the way they're performing, and you'll focus on your maximum potential, and then you're closer to building your ideal self. Because if you were at a job and you were sitting there working, looking at what Johnny is doing or what Ramon is doing or what Sally is doing, you're not getting your work done, and your boss is going to be really pissed off at you. So if you're your own boss, you have to focus on you and not anyone else. And so that's the reality of it. It's not nihilism. It's that people who sit there and they worry about like this number or what I'm doing or how much money I'm making, which you're never going to really know. That's just ad revenue. I have 20 other things going on. I have clients. I have the affiliate marketing stuff. I have the sponsors. I have all these other things. If you're focused on how much I make on something when you don't have the same ads running against your channel, when you're not doing the same content, when you don't have the same upload schedule and frequency, when you don't have the same metadata and keywords, when you don't have the same channel ranking authority, when you don't have the literally 2,000 plus data point variables going on, why would you care about me if you're not matching me 100% on 2,000 different variables? It makes no sense from a practical standpoint to look at what someone else is doing versus running your own race. So that's my point. It's just practicality. So there's, that component of it. Now, going back to what this says about your top 10 performing videos, I would analyze this data, and the way I do it is you can analyze the top performing watch time based videos, and then you can go into the individual videos and see what's going on with them as far as data. Let's look at my best performing video overall and look at its data over the last 30 days. What a lot of you don't realize is you can get an individual video's performance in YouTube. You can either type in the title of the video or you can click on it, and it'll give you the video's performance over the last 30 days. So this video is down by comparison to its previous 30-day cycle by about 30% in watch time, and it's down by about 30% in views compared to its previous cycle, which, that's not great, and we'd want to improve. It's down by that in revenue too, so it's that across the board, but it's up a little bit by almost a percentage point in average view duration. So, and it's also up in comments. So what I could do to improve this, since this is an older video that I made this video in May of last year, and total in its lifetime it has almost 1 million views. What I could do is I could try recirculating and distributing this in social media to see if that helps. It also has about the same amount of shares as its previous period, so maybe I can encourage and try to get shares up on that old video. Like so. I think that's important, and I can see which geography this is playing out with, which is not surprising that most of it's in the United States, some of it's UK, Canada, Australia, and Germany, primarily English-speaking countries in Western territories. So I do understand over the last 30 days of that month, or 31 days of the month of July, how this individual video performed, and so that's really something that I could look at and try to analyze that video. Now, if I go back, I can go back to the overview and I can look at other videos in exactly the same way, and I can see how they performed. Like I could look at this Microsoft Surface video and I can see how it performed in July, and I can think about, like, okay, it's only down by 15% here, 8% here, but it got more comments and it got more shares. So I could think about, well, do I care about using this video to get more out of it, and what can I do there? So that's something too important. Now, aside from overview, the rest of this all depends on your goals. For most of you, what you guys want is you want more subscribers. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this subscriber button here. Now, what this tells you is your net subscribers, the amount of subscribers you kept for that month. This is how many you gained and how many you lost. I want you to take this lost number with a grain of salt, because we know that sometimes the YouTube sub button has a display glitch, and I'm convinced that it's a problem with syncing with mobile devices or with logins. And we've seen this, and I've talked to other YouTubers. Me and Boogie have been talking about this a lot, and so we think there's a display glitch that has people manually click unsubscribe, but when they see it and they realize, wait, I unsubscribed from a channel that I want, they subscribe again. So it kind of double counts this, but you only get counted for net total subscribers. So these numbers are there, but I pay no attention to them. I only care about, well, how much did I keep? It's like retail. Like if you sold a certain amount of inventory, but then some of it got returned, but then what if they bought it back because they're like, I didn't want to return it afterward? You still have the same amount of money based on items sold, so I wouldn't worry about that as much. Just worry about this net subscribers gained number over here, which is your total for that period, in this case the 31 days of July. And then this is where YouTube can track it to a specific video. Sometimes it may not be able to do that. Sometimes it might attribute it to videos in a playlist. Sometimes it doesn't pick it up, just depending on where they click subscribed. So again, take all of this with a grain of salt. But also notice that the majority of our subscribers lost is at a channel level, which means it's likely that they showed up to the channel, it said they were unsubscribed, so they clicked it again, etc. So that's what I think is happening there, and that's kind of how I validate that. This is where YouTube is closing accounts that are inactive or that they think are bots, so that's not a big loss for us there. Let's look at the videos that YouTube says are driving more subscribers, at least in this 31-day cycle of July. And so it says that these are the videos that drove the most subscribers, and we can use that to kind of say, well, should we make more videos like that? How to become a graphic designer. I know that videos that I do that are career-based will drive more subscribers as long as they align with that playlist that I have of like 250 videos around creative careers. So that will definitely help. Obviously, some of the YouTube advice stuff grows subscribers, but passive income and business videos ultimately do probably the best for me for both views, subscribers, and revenue. So even if something gets me more subscribers, I would probably make more of these videos that are business related as far as small business and passive income and making money online, because those videos and fastest way to get clients, that got me subscribers. Those videos make me more money than the how to grow a YouTube channel videos, but they also get me more views, more watch time, and more subscribers than those videos. So prioritizing those might be a good thing. Graphic design videos, those are driving subscribers, so it's a good mix. I have some tech videos that are driving subscribers. So it's not, a lot of people sometimes joke that it's like, oh, you grow a YouTube channel by talking about how to grow a YouTube channel. But as it turns out, a lot of my advertising and marketing videos and how to make money online videos do just as well. In many cases, they make me a lot more revenue, both on the AdSense side, but also on the affiliate marketing side and on the client acquisition side for my business, for consulting. So you see that it's a good mix, which represents the channel pretty well. The advice on how to grow t-shirts did okay. So if I know that I want to grow more subscribers, I know that I can make more videos that are related to these top performing videos that got me more subscribers. Now, if I'm interested in where the geography of my subscribers is coming from, I can see that the overwhelming majority of it is from the United States, United Kingdom, India, Canada, Australia, so English-speaking countries, and then everyone else is very minor. So I know that, one, overwhelmingly, I know that my subscribers are real, they're English-speaking. I know that these are performing well because I closed caption almost all of my videos, and sometimes you guys with this translation and transcriptions, sometimes you guys contribute to these to help, and I can review stuff like this. Like someone was kind enough to translate this to Arabic, which might help me break into another market, and then I can see that the Google Translate is pretty accurate according to this. So I know that this person isn't, putting out bad information. So I can publish that closed captioning from English to Arabic. And so that's amazing that someone from the community did that for me. So that's pretty awesome. So those are what community contributions are there. And if you want people to, contribute to your channel, you can always put out this link and it will help with that. So I can review this, and another person did this, and Google Translate says that this is pretty accurate to what my original was. So I can hit publish, and that will be there. So maybe I can break into that market, and maybe I can help people like that. So, that's definitely good for me. So if I go back over here to analytics, what I was showing you before was the subscribers and how you figure out, which videos are driving subscribers to your channel. So, again, that's great that you can see those kind of things. Now, here's something else that you guys might want to look at. What videos are getting the most shares? Because those shares are bringing awareness to your channel, right? So, 10 ways to make passive income online, overwhelmingly getting shared. Some of the YouTube advice stuff, how to edit videos fast, that got a lot of shares too. And that's a more recent video. I did that almost a month ago, so that's performing well there. The stuff with the Anchor podcasting tool and 7 Steps to Start Podcast. So I know that stuff that I do around podcasting will get shared. Stuff around video editing will get shared. Photoshop tutorials will get shared. So I see a good mix here. I see a lot of my Premiere Pro tutorials getting shared. A lot of them, actually. I guess more people want Premiere Pro tutorials, so I should definitely do more of those. The YouTube advice stuff obviously gets shared. Graphic design videos get shared. So again, you can see kind of what's going on and how your audience is performing and reacting to this. So let's see. We can also see sharing services. People are copying this to their clipboard. This is other, so I can't see that. Surprising amount of people using WhatsApp and sharing this in Facebook and Facebook Messenger, so I know that, okay, Facebook is being good to me. We got some people in LinkedIn. Almost nobody shares my stuff in Reddit. Guys, do me a huge favor. If you're watching this live stream and if you participate in Reddit, look through my videos, look through stuff that's helped you in the past, and please share it in the Reddit community because I know that can help people. And also, try and share this in other communities in Facebook and Twitter and in Facebook groups. That definitely helps the channel a lot. And you can see that shares matter. Dark Lordism, thank you for the $2 super chat. Really appreciate you. That's awesome. CCB Glam, $5 super chat. Thanks for always keeping it real. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for $5. That's awesome. Thank you. So yeah, ultimately, this is how you can see what your community will share and what they've been engaged with, and also how they do that. You can also see geographically who shares the most. Overwhelmingly, United States. Thank you guys, USA. But also thank you to my international community because you guys add up to quite a bit as well. So again, you can see which videos get shared if you go down here to sharing, and you can see which sharing services people are using, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or all those things. So, that matters. Sarah Makes Art says, is it a coincidence that Burr does this live stream, particular live stream, the day after Amy Strower posted a video about the analytics of her 3 most popular videos? Oh, I missed Amy's video, and so, but I did see it recently in my feed. That didn't influence this. I talked about this last week, I think, about wanting to do this one, and I've done these before, so, yeah. But Amy's awesome, and yeah, I just want to give you guys some more depth about how analytics works. I think I will do a video about my most popular video after it hits 1 million, because it's pretty close. It's at 900,000. So yeah, that's interesting. Let's see. Got a few more questions here. Will this video be available afterward? Yes, my live streams are always available afterward. It takes YouTube a little bit to process them. Kawai's Kitchen, thank you for the $4 super chat. Really appreciate you. Sorry I missed that a little bit earlier. Let me see what the message was. Oh, Kawai's Kitchen and Homesteading, thank you for helping me with my channel and telling me about TubeBuddy. Awesome. Yeah, so guys, TubeBuddy helps me a lot with figuring all this stuff out and how to actually capitalize on this data in terms of search, and I probably need to do a full-on TubeBuddy tutorial. Guys, I'm going to do a full-on tutorial for TubeBuddy on how to use it and how I use it specifically with growing my channel, and I think that that's a video that I will just have them go ahead and sponsor as well because they are a friend of the channel. If you guys want to grab TubeBuddy, you can go to tubebuddy.com/awesome, and if you use the code Roberto'sBuddy, all lowercase, no hyphens, no apostrophes, you will get 20% off of TubeBuddy, which is a browser plugin for Mozilla Firefox and Google Chrome, and it will help you with growing your YouTube channel, and will help you with optimizing. It will tell you the best time to upload videos for your channel. It'll give you bulk editing features, all kinds of cool stuff. So definitely check out TubeBuddy. Go to tubebuddy.com/awesome. Use code Roberto'sBuddy. It's all linked down in the description below for you. Save 20%, and it also helps the channel because it's an affiliate link. So yeah, later I'll do a full tutorial on using TubeBuddy. I did one on tags, but that wasn't a full tutorial. I'll do another one that's more about how I use it, and that one will probably be a sponsored video for that case. Katie Olenek, $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Roberto, a little bit off topic. Is Bronn gonna save Jaime or is Tyrion? And thanks again for bringing awesomeness to the community. So for you guys not familiar, that's a Game of Thrones reference. I think in the end Tyrion is gonna save Jaime the way that Jaime saved him in some regard, but Bronn already saved him from being well, I won't spoil that for people who haven't watched the episode yet, but Bronn already saved Jaime, so I think it's Tyrion's turn. So there is that. But going back to this, let's look at annotations is defunct, so they discontinued that. Let's look at cards, and let's take a look at this. So I use YouTube cards. A lot of you know that I use polls a lot of the time, and there's a lot that goes on with that, and let's see here. This lets me see like polling data. So I ask you guys all kinds of things, and I know that majority of you now, at least the ones of you who voted, use Adobe Premiere Pro instead of other software, Sony Vegas, mobile apps, or Final Cut Pro. So I know most of you are Adobe Premiere users like me, but that might have something to do with the fact that a lot of my tutorials for video editing are on Adobe Premiere Pro. Maybe if I do more Final Cut Pro, you guys will, show me that there's a lot of you who use Final Cut. When I asked you guys what is clickbait, most of you said it's a misleading title or thumbnail, or that you're not sure. Some of you thought anything designed for clicks. So, I have all these polls, and I get a lot of interesting data on you guys. You guys, I asked you what's holding you back, and a lot of you said you don't know how to promote. Some of you said you don't have ideas for videos. Some of you said you're just feeling overwhelmed. Some of you said you don't know what your brand is. Some of you said you don't know what gear to get. So now I know that most of you just don't know how to promote your videos in YouTube. And then a lot of you, the next group, just doesn't have any ideas. They don't know what to make. And I think that those are things I can help with. So this is how I get my ideas for what you guys want. Is I use these polls with the YouTube info cards. Like I asked, what physical product I should make. Should I make a backpack for creators? Would you guys buy that? Would you guys buy a Roberto bobblehead? Would you prefer motivational posters, a photo poses app, or a printed sketchbook? Most of you would rather have either a backpack design that I designed that's for creators who travel. So that's interesting because I travel a lot and I think I can design a better backpack than most of the companies based on what I use. And then some of you said, oh, it'd be cool to have a Roberto bobblehead. You guys know I'm a fan of bobbleheads. And then some of you said you want motivational posters. The easiest thing for me to make is motivational posters as well as motivational t-shirts. So those will be coming soon. Any of you who want to create awesome or an execution not excuses t-shirt or anything like that, you can go to robertoblake.com/shirts. In fact, let me show you guys real quick. So over in Spreadshirt at robertoblake.com/shirts, we got a new t-shirt. We got execution is for winners, and excuses are for anyone. We've got the Always Be Creating shirt, both for men and women. We got Create Awesome. We got Books Are Awesome. And we also have the Always Be Creating t-shirts. And we also got some tote bags and some mugs, all the things. So if you guys want any of the merch, you can either go to this URL or you can go to robertoblake.com/shirts. And you can get merchandise. But little plug for me. But anyway, back to cards. Info cards here. We get interesting data on these, and I can see that these get clicked a lot. So that's why I use them in every single video for the most part. They work. End screens. Some of you aren't doing end screens. I'm going to do a Photoshop tutorial on how to design custom end screens because I think that that will help a lot of you get into using end screens, but I use these a lot, and most of the time I use best for viewer, and this shows that it gets a decent amount of click-throughs, to be honest. This is probably better than most people. 2%'s hard, believe it or not, but I can also see which ones get clicked the most, and so this details that for me. It shows me which video they're on. So I use these end cards to get people to watch another video. So that's something that I use quite a bit, and so those end screen elements really matter as far as trying to get people to stay on YouTube longer, get them to watch more of your videos, get them to watch playlists, and so I really like to use that. Let's see, we have a few questions here. Let me see if I can answer some. McCann Dogs asks, Roberto, how are polls viewed in regard to engagement? Does YouTube like polls as engagement signals, or is it more to get info about your audience as a creator? It's both. They don't weight that engagement signal very highly, but it's more useful as an overall tool and for gathering data for yourself, and so I like that, but it does play a role, and they do like that. But you can also use those cards to drive people to watch more videos, and you've seen that. So I use polls, but I also use cards to drive videos. Big Rick Machine says, my most recent video just hit over 30K views. Thanks for the help, Rob. Oh, thank you so much. Glad to hear that. Let's see. We got a lot of things here. Danny, we can't show CPM. That's the whole point of why people say they can't show their ad revenue, is that's the part that YouTube doesn't want you to show in the AdSense legal terms of service and all the jargon. That's the thing. And besides, my CPM is irrelevant because you don't have the advertisers I have, you don't have the views I have, you don't have the demographic and audience I have, so it's irrelevant for you to see that. It doesn't matter. So there is that. Aaron Robinson says, Roberto, how do you feel about YouTubers contacting article writers, bloggers, and editors and being a content resource for them, and in turn they advertise their channel in response? Yeah, not exactly that, but yes, you should reach out to writers and to press and media for attention around your videos. If they feel the content is relevant to their readership, then yes, you should do that. Liam McKenna says, I want to create my merchandise. What advice would you give? Watch my video on how to sell merch, how to make money on YouTube selling merch. Watch my video and on advice for selling t-shirts online. Those two videos will probably help you the most. So you'll definitely want to go to my channel and look for those. So yeah. How can you make a personal watermark? Yusef asked. Yusef, it's a feature if you go into your channel and you go into branding. If you go into your channel and you go into branding, then you'll see that you can do that. And so you get the branding watermark. Let's see. So we looked at end screens and cards. We looked at sharing. Annotations is defunct. Comments, comments just tells you which videos got the most comments on them overall. That could be helpful if you're looking for engagement to know what gets the most commentary from your audience. In my case, obviously, a lot of it's the live streams. A lot of it is YouTube-related topics. But if I go to the more recent stuff here, there are a lot of videos that are not YouTube related that got a lot of attention in terms of comments, like the business advice for artists. The creative thoughts vlogs usually perform really well with that. The video editing stuff did too. Passive income, that always does well on comments. So you just can use this to kind of figure out where your audience is spending more time. If people are commenting more, the odds are they're also watching more. So yeah, Liam McKenna says, Roberto, which videos? You talked quickly. Advice for selling t-shirts online and how to make money on YouTube selling merchandise are the two videos I recommend for you if you want to sell merch like I do with my t-shirts. Again, you guys, if you want this, you can get it at robertoblake.com/shirts, and this is where my motivational merchandise is going to be. Execution is for winner, excuses are for anyone. I really dig that one. You're going to see that one on the channel more. We got the Books Are Awesome t-shirt because I dig reading, because knowledge. And of course the classic Create Awesome tee. We have that in men's and women's. And we've also got the regular graphic tee if you want to save a few bucks. And these more expensive ones, it's because they're on the premium shirts, so they last a little bit longer. But we've got that. We've got crop tops. We got a little bit of everything. We've got some of my old designs here too. So there's a little something for everybody in the store. So right now I'm using Spreadshirt because that's convenient. But it's a good way for you guys to make merchandise without having to spend money up front. Print-on-demand services are good like that. So let's look at traffic sources. This is one of the most important things you can look at. And we're going to, this is going to take a long time to load, but I want to show you something because I want to make a point. So there's only so much that this is loading. This is going to take a minute. But this is going to be really great to see the lifetime data of where my YouTube traffic comes from, because this will be interesting. So if you look at this, this shows you in the lifetime of my channel's existence where the YouTube channel data has gone. The 16 million views in the lifetime of the channel. YouTube Red stuff once that was implemented, and the cumulative watch time for the entire channel in its lifetime as best as YouTube can estimate it. Since they didn't track that before 2012, which doesn't matter because I didn't really have views before 2012 anyway. Like if you can see, you guys know I started the account in 2009 is when I opened the account so I could comment on people's videos. But you'll notice that until 2013, when I actually started making content, which is why I say, hey, I really started this channel in 2013, you kind of see where I'm going with that. Is I wasn't doing anything, so it doesn't matter. And so, you know, it matters when you get over here. So, what happens here is we can see the overwhelming majority of my traffic, and it's been, for views, it's been YouTube search overwhelmingly, suggested videos, browse features, very little external traffic at all, most of that being websites like Google, some playlist traffic, etc., etc. So if anyone thought that I've ever bought traffic or bought subscribers, this is the empirical data that tells you that I can't do that, because you get it through search and suggested videos, YouTube's browse features, which include, and this is going to take forever to load, and it can't tell you stuff before 2012, so I get that. I wasn't doing much before 2012, so it doesn't matter. And God, this is taking forever. Okay, so most of this in browse features came from homepage views, subscription notification views, watch later, watch history, and so on and so forth. So that's where the majority of that came from. And then external is mostly going to be Google. I'm going to click on it anyway once this is done loading. But this is great for you guys because knowing where your YouTube traffic comes from means that you can figure out where to prioritize and also where to pay attention and where to expand. You're going to notice that Google search out of those external sites accounts for a good portion of my views. Almost 1 million of my channel's lifetime views came from Google search specifically, a little bit less from Facebook, but 4K shooters has been good to me, which is awesome, which means that when I make videos that revolve around 4K topics, they help. I was a writer for Creative Pro, so I got some from that. You guys know I'm a big fan of Twitter. And then there's some Google Direct, which I don't know how they're counting that versus Google Search. And then Yahoo Search and Bing and all of those things play a role. So, and TubeBuddies got me a few views. Awesome. So there are some things like my own website and Premium Beat and other articles that have featured me have definitely helped over the lifetime of this channel. And so that's where a lot of the traffic has come from. If I look at the lifetime of the channel and I look at where subscribers come from, I can see which videos attributed the most. A lot of it is from ultimately the channel as a whole, where YouTube can't attribute it to any one video because of how they change tracking that. But I at least know which videos contributed the most overall subscribers in the lifetime of the channel, and you can see that all adds up because I did 1,000 videos, so some videos contributed more than others. A lot of it was graphic design stuff, and there's going to be more videos like that because, I mean, look at what they've done for the channel, right? Making passive income online, I've gotten almost 10,000 of my subscribers off of that. Small business, you know, so I know that, oh wow, these are the videos that do very well for me. Premiere Pro stuff, a lot of you probably think it'd be the how to grow a YouTube channel stuff, but most of it looks like it's my tutorials, it's my career advice stuff, it's, you know, gadget related stuff, it's how to become a freelancer, it's how to make money online, it's how to become a graphic designer. So a lot of this, the small business stuff, becoming a web designer, these are the things that really built me the biggest audience overall. YouTube channel review stuff, like, that's contributed, but overwhelmingly it's a really diverse ecosystem, and that's why some videos perform better than others. Is if you look at this and you figure out where your subscribers are coming from, you know which videos to make more of. So I know that if I make passive income related videos, a few small YouTuber videos, more career stuff as far as design and creativity, and things about making money online, I know that those things will grow the channel in subscribers. I know that if I double down on that, that grows the most. I think passive income is one of the things I have the highest ranking authority for in search. I think it's one of the biggest topics on this channel. Most of my best performing videos of all time revolve around that topic. If we go and we view my channel and we go to popular videos, you guys are getting a little bit of a sneak peek of some upcoming videos. You'll notice something. my most popular uploads are diverse, and you should look at this for yourself for what your videos are. It's pretty diverse, but I know that if I make more tutorials and I make more software and laptop stuff and video editing stuff and things about making money online, laptop reviews do very well for me, both on all around, both on views, ad revenue, and affiliate revenue. I know that ultimately these videos are probably the most lucrative for me. A few like these can help, but overwhelmingly it's the diversity mix that works for me. The thing that people wouldn't think worked actually is what is crushing it for me overall. They're my best performing videos and the ones that make me the most revenue. In all the ways that I make revenue, they perform the best. So that's where I would probably shift attention, and the analytics with the subscribers and with what's happening there, they confirm that. So when you look at your analytics and you look at things like subscribers, you look at things like watch time, those things ultimately matter. And we looked at the traffic sources, so I would focus on those. And that was for the lifetime. Let's again go back to last month just to make this easier to digest, and let's take a look at something that many of you may not be looking at, which is your demographics, because I want to focus on, well, who watches this channel, right? So demographics. Very few young people, very few teenagers. Most of this channel is adult professionals. We see that the majority of it is people between 18 and 34 years old, aka millennials, right? And then it skews upward after that into Gen Xers and a few boomers, the ones that are on the internet. So I know that people who can make buying decisions, people who are working in a job or a career profession that revolves around creativity or video editing or graphic design or photography, are probably watching this channel. People who want to be creative entrepreneurs or want a job in the creative fields. So, you know, I think that that's important. Natasha says, Roberto, you think ranking tags is the most important thing? I think quality content is the most important thing. Ranking it for relevancy then helps distribute it to the right audiences, and then analyzing your data and seeing how it performs and whether people do think the content is good and whether they're engaged with it, and what your audience demographics is and what the psychology of them is and what they're saying in feedback. You know, I would look at that and I would pay attention to that. So I don't think there's any one thing that's more important than making good content. Sarah Makes Art says, most of my traffic comes from external sources, and knowing this and my audience retention rate has caused me to rethink who I share video links with on Facebook. That's interesting. I would say if that's happening, Sarah, that you need to make some more maybe search-friendly content and rank it with TubeBuddy to try to get internal traffic from YouTube. But if you're getting external traffic, think about where you're getting that external traffic from and see if you can ramp that up. If there's a way to control that and ramp that up, then definitely do it. Cam's Toy Box says, how many videos did you upload before the volume picked up in views in 2014 based on this chart? In 2014, what I did differently that showed the ramp up was that I started uploading more often. So it wasn't the amount that I'd made up until then. It was about the frequency of uploads, which I talk about, which is why I say going to 3 times a week is what changes things for your channel. And then if you can get to 5, that's a good place to be. So that's what I would definitely say about that. Tankersley FX says, what advice would you give an artist, creative person who is scatterbrained and therefore has a hard time setting a channel on specific theme or niche? Do what you can, play to your strengths, and try to find things that are at least similar. So I would say that if you at least title the channel art and then you do something around art all the time, that probably can help. So that's what I would say. Strict Studios asks, do you think that it's possible for a channel that does 1-minute animations to grow a bit fast in today's YouTube? I'd say it depends on how good you are at everything. I don't think that 1-minute animations hold you back. I mean, Cyanide and Happiness is one of the biggest channels on YouTube, and so I think that short animation channels, especially if you do compilations of your animations, can win. I would say fast. If you're an artist and you're worried about doing something fast, you have the wrong attitude. And a lot of people will say, oh, well, there's no right or wrong, but I will say that if you are an artist and you're thinking about growing fast, you have the completely wrong attitude, because as an artist, you should know better. As an artist, you should know better that things take as long as they take. Chance says, half my problem is not learning the algorithm or using analytics, which I understand very well. My problem is what to make. Actually making the content, like editing, filming, thumbnails, is no problem. I mean, if you are struggling with what to make, the problem is you're probably thinking about being popular on YouTube instead of thinking about what you care about. You just make things you care about, and then you figure the rest out. I think the biggest problem is that so many of you are struggling and you get discouraged because you're worried about making it on YouTube, you're worried about views, you're worried about subscribers, whereas if you're a creator, if you're a real creator and a real artist, you'll make stuff. When there was no internet, I was drawing every day. I cut out of doing classwork, would do my homework in class, would do it early just so I could draw more each and every day, because that's what mattered to me. And there was no real internet yet, so there were no likes, no views, no subscribers, no followers, no revenue, no nothing. Because a lot of you say, well, why would I keep making things if no one's going to watch them? I drew every day in my bloody sketchbook with nobody freaking watching me or giving me a thumbs up. If one person would pat me on the head and said, hey, you did a good picture, that was a good day, and that was it. So if you're a real creator, then stop worrying about it. That's my real answer. Make stuff that you think is cool, put it out there, and if other people think it's cool, awesome. If you want to play the game, cool. Play the game, but don't give me this I'm discouraged because no one's looking at me crap. Go ahead and play the game then and figure out and tweak and learn the algorithm and share and do all those things, but make stuff that you want to make and stop making stuff to try to make a fast buck or to cash out or to be popular. Because what'll happen is you'll start to hate it, you'll start to resent it, and you'll burn out, because then you're not focusing your time and attention on what you really care about, and that's the worst. That's called a 9-to-5 job for most people. Like, and sorry, we're all gonna die, so ain't nobody got time with that. You know, ain't nobody got time for that. So, you know, that's what I think about is like, you know, it's like, okay, you're going to die at some point. Lightning's going to strike. Maybe you get hit by a bus. Like, maybe you die of old age. Are you going to squander that time trying to please other people? Or are you going to do something that you're really committed to the best of your ability and get the most out of it that you possibly can? That's a real talk answer. You want motivation? That's your motivation right there. So, you know, and if it's that, well, but YouTube can help me do this and do that, then fine. Then play the game and balance it so that you don't burn out. Because we look at a lot of creators from 5 and 10 years ago, and what's going on? They're now having to make all these confession videos about how tired they are and how burnt out they are and about all the fake positivity stuff they did just to get by, right? So why not learn from those mistakes and just say that you're going to do what you want to do and that you'll figure it out? Because I never made this channel with the intention of getting 100,000 or 250,000 subscribers. That's cool that happened. I love that people support it, and I love that people are being helped by it. When I go to these conferences, a lot of times I'm speaking in front of a room of 50, 100, 500 people, much less people than view me on YouTube, and it matters so much to be in that room in front of a few hundred people or a few dozen people, or at some like very small events, a dozen people for whom this really makes a difference and for who it matters, because my channel is about enabling artists to not be starving artists. It's about making software less intimidating for people so that they can create and so they can do their job, or so they can have a livelihood, because learning code changed my life. Learning one skill, learning how to build websites, completely changed the entire course of direction of my life at 13 years old. Learning Photoshop at 14, 15 years old changed the direction of my life. Learning video editing at 15, 16 years old changed the direction of my life. Learning how to sell stuff on eBay completely changed my life. My life went in a different direction because I learned these skills, and that one day they allowed me to get a career that I enjoyed at the time, and then when that was no longer satisfying, I was able to become an entrepreneur because I had actual skills. So learning those skills made a difference to me, and there was no YouTube back then. There was no YouTube back then. It was a very primitive version of the internet, and so I'm so grateful that a few people put knowledge out there and shared their skills so that I could have a career that may not have been available to me otherwise. That was my passion, and so ultimately I wanted to give that opportunity to other creative people so that some 15, 16-year-old kid out there on the internet, or some 18-year-old person who's struggling, or some 20-year-old person who wants a different life and a different job could have resources and tools without paying an over-expensive college thing. Guys, I went to college, but I left, and I went to college and I worked, and I got horrible grades because I was working 50 hours a week, and I was doing freelancing on the side, and I paid for my college education cash. I paid for my college education cash, and when I got a job that I wanted, and I did it without the degree, I left and I never looked back because I had real skills, and now I had a corporate credential to be able to move forward in life. And so I didn't start my adult life 50, 60,000 in debt like most of my friends who still 12 years later are paying off, like 12, 14, 13 years later, 15 years later, are paying off their student loan debt. They have tens of thousands of dollars in debt versus, you know, me being able to have that money in the bank instead because I didn't start my adult life in debt with my education. I'm not saying don't go to college, but again, I paid for mine cash. I took a hit on the grades, which all my other classmates and my teachers and my professors looked down on me. They talked trash to me. They kind of like emotionally like tortured me because I was so smart and I had talent, but I was always late to class. I was always exhausted. I'd fall asleep halfway through class because I was working my butt off because I was the only person paying my tuition in cash because it meant that much to me to not live in debt. And it was soul crushing, and it was an emotional burden, and it made me think about killing myself, and that's where the depression and the suicide stuff came from, and my anxiety and things were amped up by that because it was hard. And I didn't want later, when I figured all my stuff out, I was like, somebody is going through that right now. Somebody is being told they're not good enough. Somebody's being looked down on because they have to actually work for a living, and what can I do to help them become an entrepreneur? What can I do, because I'm so grateful for the life that I have, to help them? And so what I did in 2013 was I made the content that would have helped me in my career if YouTube had existed when I got started or when I was a college student. And that ultimately resonated with people who wanted that. And when they asked me career advice questions, I stopped just doing tutorials and I did career advice questions. And then when I figured out how to grow a YouTube channel and I figured out all this online marketing and branding and how to make money online besides doing freelance work and how to use other systems to make passive income, people started asking about that and asking how I'm making the money or how I'm growing the channel. And so I told them because I wanted them to have the same opportunity. And so all I've done this entire time on this journey to 250,000 subscribers is just give people what nobody else gave to me, just do for people what couldn't be done for me apparently, and that's it. And that's because I was passionate about it, and you can see it and you can hear it in my voice that that's what mattered to me, and that's how the channel grew, was I did what I cared about. I didn't look at what's trending here. I didn't like, oh, this big YouTuber is doing this, so I guess I will do it. I didn't do those things. What I did was I took what I knew, what I cared about, what I was passionate about, and I talked about it in front of a camera and put it out there. And the result is what you've seen happen. And I got smarter about everything. I got more intentional about everything. I replied back when I had a smaller following. I replied to everyone when I could. Today, I still reply to about 100 comments every single day across multiple videos, at least every single day, if not more. I still reply to the far majority of people in Twitter every single day. I still reply to almost everybody in Instagram because I get less comments and it's a smaller following over there. By the way, guys, do me a favor. Follow me at Roberto Blake on Instagram. I'm doing some really good motivational content over there that you will enjoy, and it's also cool to see some of my photography. So if you want to see what I'm doing with photo stories and inspiration, at Roberto Blake on Instagram. But I reply to everybody there because it's easier than replying to all the YouTube comments. You know, there's you know, the public Facebook group, the Just Create Awesome group in Facebook. There's you know, all these other platforms that I have to stay engaged with people, and I do, because beyond YouTube, I'm building a legacy. I'm building a brand. It's how I built my speaking career. It's how I'm doing everything. Was I acted intentionally, I stayed in my lane, and I didn't worry about being popular. I worried about hanging out with my crew, the Create Awesome community. I worried about working with you guys and studying what would help and just relating my story to you guys instead of chasing a gold play button. And so that if I'm going to be successful, it's going to be because I keep doing that. It's going to be because I build a community around creative people who don't want to be starving artists and they need some help. And so that's what I'm doing. Now that Draw with Jazz is almost at 2 million subscribers, I know that there's an artistic community in YouTube to the tune of maybe 2 million people that maybe could benefit from what I'm doing. So I'm looking at that. I know that 1 million isn't out of reach. It'd be amazing to help 1 million artists do something cool and make a living. But if we ever only stay at 300,000, 500,000, I'm not going to cry about it because I got the opportunity to help, at that point, hundreds of thousands of creative people be successful. That's a good life. So for you guys, I want you to stop thinking about YouTube fame and YouTube glory and YouTube money. And I want you to start thinking about what can you put out there that you're good with, that represents you, and that provides the value that you think should exist in the world. And if even 5 people get something out of it, that's probably more people than like ever paid attention to something you might have done today, and really it mattered to them. Because again, I'll tell you, as somebody who grew up an artist before the internet, nobody cared what, like nobody cared. I could draw all day and nobody would care, and it didn't bother me. And it really didn't bother me. I could take photos all day and develop in the darkroom all day, and like 3 or 5 people would clap it up for me, and that was good enough. So, I mean, I understand that you work hard on something, but the person who needs to acknowledge your hard work is not some other person, it's you. You need to care about your hard work, and you need to keep doing it for you. And if other people dig it, that's awesome. So, that's what I would say. Jody Yarborough, thank you so much for the support and $10 super chat. You are awesome. Thank you so much, Jody, and appreciate what you're doing. The Minnesota Dad with $5 coming through with the super chat. Appreciate you. So we got a few comments. Gonzalia says, "Love it, man. Beast mode Roberto is great. Real talk." Yeah, there's some more real talk and some more creative thoughts episodes coming up, so you'll really appreciate that. I actually did a collab for small YouTubers with Sean Canal and Daryl Eves, but me and Sean Canal did a very emotional creative thoughts vlog and interview, and you guys are really going to dig it because you're going to see a totally different side of both of us, and we got super emotional, and we were both talking about our story and how we got to where we are today, and it goes deep. You guys are really going to enjoy that one. So that one will probably release this weekend once I get the thumbnail to where I like it. So definitely stay tuned for that. If real talk is what you like, that one gets deep. Philip Chandler says, "I would say if you're an artist, YouTube should be another tool to help you promote your art, not be the only source of income for your art." I agree, and I think that as an artist, the most important thing as an artist is to diversify your revenue. I would say that print-on-demand services are good for you as an artist. I would say doing an Amazon affiliate program and promoting your art kit, the brushes, the paints, the canvases, the things that you use. Draw with Jazz is one of the best examples of a creative entrepreneur that I can think of in the way that he diversified his revenue model with both commissions, print-on-demand products, online courses, Photoshop brushes, selling tutorials, different things, and also Patreon support, of course, and his YouTube ad revenue and taking sponsorships. I think as an artist, you should be using YouTube and platforms like that to elevate your overall brand and your body of work and market yourself, and you should diversify your revenue and your income even outside of YouTube. So I really believe that. Kim, I got to meet Kim. This is somebody from the channel that I got to meet in the real world finally. So Kim says, "Do what you love, master your craft, then do something with it. You can't gain whatever success it is if you skip the steps that set you up for it." Absolutely. Just My Name says, "What do you think is the best age to start creating a YouTube channel?" Whatever age you are, where you have the talent, the discipline, and the stomach for it. That's definitely what I would say. So yeah. Roberto, where is the font to make a channel art for Photoshop for me to download? I'm not sure what you're asking, but I did a tutorial that shows you how to make channel artwork. I don't have a download attached to it. 47-year-olds, absolutely. 47-year-olds, Petrick, still have a lot of hustle left in them in the game, so respect. Are pop filters useful for mic quality? Yes, they are. Red Robot 007. So, yeah. Catmandu1 says, I'm trying to get used to talking to myself. How would you get used to that? I pretended the camera was a person, and I did that, and eventually I usually now pretend that I'm used to it, but I'm also pretending that it's a specific person, because I now have context and know some people from my community, so I pretend that it's them that I'm talking to, and then I talk to the camera. So that's how I do it. Luxury Card Store, thank you for the $5 super chat. I don't have room for softboxes or photo umbrellas. Can you suggest a smaller but effective lighting for videos? Yes, the newer lights are these portable lights that are meant for travel, and it's spelled Neewer, newer, with 2 E's in the middle, and that's a good light. It's about $36, and it's super useful, and you can mount that on top of your camera with a cold shoe, and that should get the job done. Keep in mind, it is blinding, though. Dennis Sudo says, I can see why I like you. What you are doing came from the same way. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. Roberto, changing a thumbnail will restart the video history on YouTube. Juan Lopez Vlog says, no, changing the thumbnail will not change the history. It will not be a reset. It will just change the thumbnail. Changing the title might do that. But, you know. Jimmy Changa says, more podcasts and tutorials, Roberto. They are coming. Roberto, also, what's your opinion on Sony acquiring Funimation? What does this mean for anime YouTubers? I think that their acquisition will still leave the general rules in play. I can't see Sony hitting people with copyright personally, but if they do, that will damage a lot of channels, especially channels that I enjoy and that I'm a fan of, and some friends of mine like Daniel over at Geekdom and some other people that I enjoy, and I hope not. I'd really just hope not. Team 4-Star, obviously, but I hope that the Sony acquisition means that they just kind of stay hands off. So thanks for bringing that up. TubeBuddy versus vidIQ. I'm going to lean more toward TubeBuddy. Both are great tools. I've used both of them, but I've kind of ditched vidIQ almost altogether in favor of TubeBuddy, Morning Fame, Viduli, and what else? Tubular Labs, Social Blade, and VidX Stats, and Social Blue Book. So those are it. Let's see. Strict Studios, thank you for the $2 UK. Appreciate you. Earthstone, how much money do I make on YouTube? And you really want to know? Here's the answer. None of your freaking business. So, there. There's your answer. You want to kind of sort of guess my ad revenue? Aside from watching, like, where it was in the live stream or whatever for July, it's like, go look at Social Blade, but here's the answer. It's none of your freaking business, and it's not going to tell you anything about your channel, because everyone's ad revenue is different. You haven't researched how the YouTube and Google AdWords system works, how the ad revenue auction works, how different RPM and CPM rates differ from country to country, and, by the way, state to state. So you haven't researched the, 600 variables. The 600 variables that determine ad revenue and payouts, and then that's not accounting for any deals anyone has with an MCN. So guess what? Anyone telling you how much money they make on YouTube is basically clickbaiting you for views, because it actually isn't the real number, and it doesn't matter because it has no bearing or impact on what your earning potential is, because there are 600 plus variables that determine that, and that's just talking about AdSense. That's not counting any other business model that they're deploying against their channel. So everybody watches a hey, my YouTube earnings revealed, think you just fell for clickbait because it doesn't apply to you, because the independent variables of how these algorithms work that determine the RPM rate, CPM rate, the overall distribution of monetized views per video, per channel, per it's so ridiculously intense and such a data nerd thing that I think if I even tried to really break it down, that people would just get frustrated and give up. And that's just real. That's just the real deal at the end of the day. So it's really irrelevant. And again, YouTubers do that because they're playing the game and because it's an easy way to clickbait their way into views and to get 300,000 views on a video, 500,000 views on a video, is to say, hey, here's how much I make in ad earnings. I mean, I've shown that in my analytics before without having to make a clickbait title that says it, and I know that would get tens of thousands of views in the first day because I know people are curious about it, especially based on higher subscriber counts. So it's a really stupid question. It's a rude question from a business standpoint. It's like, I'm not going to ask you guys how much money you earn at your 9-to-5 job. I'm not going to ask you about your business, especially if you're theoretically, I mean, can you imagine a business person asking their competitor how much they make? I mean, it's ridiculous. And again, it doesn't tell you anything of substance with regard to your channel. Even the average CPM rate that is in the YouTube calculators that people use is kind of misleading because it's not accounting for what percentage of your views are actually monetized because you don't know what your channel authority is. And the thing is, that could change based on the quarterly of what's in the auction marketplace and also who the inventory is going to. And then that's still not accounting for, are you with an MCN and have they worked out a better deal, or have they worked out a really poor deal? Because I know people who get millions of views a month that don't get the ad revenue of people who get only hundreds of thousands of views a month, and in some cases tens of thousands. That's how lopsided this is. There are channels that make 5 times as many views as me and make half as much. And I can't talk about it entirely because some of those are clients, some of those are friends, but it is so ridiculously lopsided, and it almost makes no sense until you take into consideration, oh, well, wait, your content is this? Well, here's how many advertisers there are for those things, and here's what they pay out because here's what an AdWords ad goes for in the back end of that, and then here's this channel, and then they might pull tech ads which have more money, or it's so complicated and it's so unique that to average these things out is insanity. It just doesn't do anything. And so that's where, I get frustrated with people asking that, because it just is a lack of research, it's a lack of context, and it's so much naivete. That's what I would say about it. Dollar Dude, good to see you in the comments, dude. I really dig what you're doing on YouTube. I'm glad to see your channel is growing. So Dollar Dude, you said the gender demographic graph is nearly the exact opposite of yours. Your viewers are mostly predominantly female. Dude, I wish I had a larger female audience. Those audiences actually convert better. They have longer overall view durations. Female audiences in YouTube, if you can grow a female audience in YouTube, your channel will actually disproportionately perform better, in my opinion, if you can have at least a 30 to 40% female audience due to how watch time works, because female viewers tend to have longer attention spans and get more engaged, and they tend to comment more. And so it'd be great to have a larger female audience, maybe more of collabs with successful creative entrepreneurs who are women, and artists that I know, and YouTubers that I know. Maybe that would help me grow that demographic more, because that'd be amazing. Also, I'd love for more female creatives to pursue these things and these crafts, because I think there's a lot of talent there. Some of my favorite and most talented filmmakers and creators are female creators that I've gotten to know over time. People like Kimberlea, people like Sarah Dici, people I've always admired like iJustine and Lindsay Sterling and Lily Singh. They're some of the most talented people, and I would love for more female creatives to pursue entrepreneurship and technology. I think that'd be amazing. Roberto, how do you crack into the top rankings and tags? It just seems to be a bunch of big YouTubers. Actually, most big YouTubers don't qualify for rankings and tags. Most big YouTubers suck at tagging their videos. I broke in as a small YouTuber by just focusing on it. And again, TubeBuddy, my man, TubeBuddy. Linked in the description below. Use code Roberto'sBuddy to get 20% off. TubeBuddy is literally the tool that's going to help you with this, but I only grew by focusing on search. I made no hub content. I made no hero content. I've never had a viral video. I don't know how the hell I'm going to make a viral video. Guys, in the comments, tell me how to make a viral video. What video on this channel could possibly go viral? What could I possibly do with my content and my personality that would go viral? Because I think it's impossible for me to go viral. I really do. That's just the truth. I think the only way I could ever go viral is by demoing some kind of camera gear that while jumping out of an airplane or going underwater in a shark cage or something like that. And it's really not my style. Like kind of like living. I want to live forever. So that's a thing. At worst, I'll be a cyborg like Vader. So I don't know how I go viral. At least not on this channel. How many videos per week? 3 if you can pull it off. Get consistent 1 video a week. That's what I did in the first year, but I ramped it up to 2 or 3. And then when I pivoted from doing 3 to 5, that's when the channel really took off. It's just gradual over time. What are some of the other social media tools that you use? Great question. For automation, I use Buffer and Hootsuite. For social media as a whole, as far as platforms, I use all of them except for Snapchat right now, and I just have a personal grudge against Snapchat because I lost a little bit of money investing in the IPO for Snapchat. Not real hard, a lot of money, so don't cry for me, but Snapchat's business leadership really pisses me off sometimes. Evan Spiegel is a brilliant developer, but as far as a tech CEO, not so much. They're down for the 2nd time in quarterly earnings. The IPO was a bust. The only people who made money were pretty much Evan and the hedge fund. Snapchat, as Snap Inc., should have made an augmented reality play as a business. They really should sell to Google. If I was a shareholder, I'd be really pissed about them not taking the $30 billion deal for Google. And then if they do, we all get to live in the Minority Report version of the world in augmented reality, and it gets amazing. So I really need Snapchat to be acquired by Google, and I kind of, as much as I admire the tech entrepreneur in Evan Spiegel, he's just so poor of a CEO as far as the business side that I kind of need Evan to go. I'm throwing him under the bus there because I need to live in a better world that has Google with Snapchat technology and Snapchat branding instead of Google making a competitor, and then between Google and Facebook, an unholy alliance that kills Snapchat as a platform. I don't want that. So I want Google to acquire them, and then they can grow up and get business savvy, and then they can be an open platform, and then the next version of Spectacles, we all get to use whatever app we want with Spectacles, and I can live in an augmented reality world where I can tap Spectacles, and I can get Facebook data and see like what school people went to or who's single or whatever, and I can live in that. I can use an open app like that maybe does Dragon Ball Z stuff and like uses their fitness stats to give me their power level. I would rather live in that world than have Snapchat remain independent. I want them absorbed by Google because I need Google to have world domination so that I can just have better tech and live in a different world, the world of sci-fi. So I kind of went into a tangent there, but basically I use every social media platform except for Snapchat until Google acquires them, but their newest features are winning me over a little bit. And again, I'm just salty because I lost money on Snapchat in the IPO because I bet on them in the event that I was wrong about Evan as a businessman, because in all humility, I'm like, I could be wrong. And nope, I was right the first time, and I should have trusted my instincts and kept my cash. So I'm salty on Snapchat because I lost money on them. Lost money betting on something that I thought, like on the off chance that this thing isn't as much of a loser as I'm thinking it is. You know, that's where it happened. So I lost a little bit of money on Snapchat, and that's kind of why they're a little bit dead to me. They are a great platform for many of you, though, and I think you should use them for as long as that train ride lasts. I have a lot of friends who are big Snapchat influencers, people like Sean Duras, people like Sean Ayala, Jeannie Can Breathe, Siren Q, people like that. And Snapchat's amazing as a platform. I'm just really salty about the business side of Snapchat because I think it could do better. And I think that it should figure out a way for creators to make money like YouTube did. I'm tired of these social media platforms taking advantage of user-generated content and not splitting profits. These are multi-billion-dollar profitable companies, and creators on these platforms that make them worthwhile, that generate content for them, they get nothing. And that's why I'm glad, as much as we complain sometimes about YouTube, that's why I respect them and why we'll go to bat for them and defend them, is because at the end of the day, they allow creators to make a living in a way that no other platform really does, including Facebook right now, including Snapchat right now, including, it becomes on the creators to find every business deal that they can do and to figure things out, and sometimes it gets them into trouble, and sometimes they get in over their head. YouTube at least gives you your first taste of making money online. Google did that with blogging and web design for me as well with the AdWords and AdSense platforms. So I appreciate that Google and YouTube, at the end of the day, they have creators back in a way that other platforms don't. And that's why I will always kind of fight for them, is because they stepped up in a way for us that other platforms just haven't. So as much as you might like Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, whatever, at the end of the day, Google and YouTube have creators back in a way that the rest of them haven't stepped up to just yet. So, that's kind of where I stand on that. So, that's me. Bick Mitchum says, "Hey Roberto, I watched your video on how to grow on YouTube when I had 35 subs in March, and I've managed to grow to 875 subs today in just 5 months. Thanks for the great advice." Wow. 5 months and that's pretty substantial. I think a lot of people underestimate how big a deal that is. You're closing in on 1,000 in under 6 months. That's pretty boss. So let's see. Practice Speaking Now says, do ads shown on YouTube depend on the keywords you use in the video? They can. They absolutely can depend on the keywords and on the description. And I think this is where people take things for granted when they say, oh, I'm not going to tag my videos. This is actually probably where some big YouTubers are losing money and why I get more ad revenue with smaller views sometimes, because those tags help contextualize for an advertiser what's going on and how relevant a video or a channel is to them. And what you guys don't know is that there's a relevancy quality index when you place advertisements between how high the quality of relevancy is of an ad to content that it might display against. And the better that number is, the better the ad rates are for the advertiser in terms of keeping their costs down. So it does matter, because YouTube is using that just like it does for landing pages and websites to try to figure that relationship out. And I know that from buying ads, that it matters on the Google and YouTube side. So when people don't tag their videos, it's costing them ad money. But people are afraid that tagging their videos means they'll get demonetized. So that's what they're afraid of. So it's important, and you got to figure it out. Michael Mariano, should I go with Bluehost if I'm just starting my webpage? Here's why I recommend Bluehost. You can go to robertoblake.com/Bluehost. That's my affiliate link to start your website. And here's why I recommend them and why I'm using them for a lot of my websites and projects. But I use like 5 or 6 different web hosting companies. One, because from a business standpoint, I need to decentralize everything so no one account is compromised and everything goes down for my business. Number one. 2, I like having my pulse on what everybody's doing. 3, I like having relationships with all the potential vendors that I can, because that's leverage for me, and because if someone gets on my nerves, it's easy for me to switch to something that I know works in an emergency. Not to mention I can always reroute and redirect things, so that's smart for me, and it gives me more places to back up data. So if you're just starting, I would say Bluehost or Wix is good. So you can go to robertoblake.com/bluehost to sign up and get your website, or you can go to robertoblake.com/Wix. And so if you want a WordPress website, Bluehost, you can get set up in 5 minutes, man. 5 minutes. So it's easy. It's a one-click install. You don't have to upload, and you just go into WordPress, set up a theme, change your branding, add your content, and you're off to the races. With Wix, you have a visual design, and you can use templates, and you can do all the things there, and no coding is required. So either of those is great if you're just getting started. Great question. Let's see. Rodrigo Gallo says, Roberto, when a video gets 15 views and I know that at least 25 people already viewed it, why could that be? It could be that they're not counted because they bounced from a video in a certain amount of time, or it could be that there's a delay on the reporting. Play the Mind says, hey Roberto, question, where in analytics do I find the best day to publish new videos? So you won't typically find that in YouTube analytics. You're more likely to find that in TubeBuddy. So if I look at TubeBuddy and I go to, where can I go on that? Where was that information in TubeBuddy? Let's see. Oh, I was in a client's thing, so disregard that. Probably edit that out later. Alright, so right now in TubeBuddy, I'd have to figure that out, but there's a place in TubeBuddy that tells you the best time to upload. You won't find it in raw analytics. Nick Lucas, thank you for the $10 super chat. Learn so much from you, Roberto. I really value your information. Every time I post a video, I lose subscribers. I've heard that others having this problem as well. Any ideas? I'm convinced that it is the visual bug in YouTube and that you're only seeing it say you lose subscribers, but your net gain of subscribers is probably the same. I've talked about this before, and a few other people agree that that could be the case. Welcome to Tiffany says, I've noticed that ads are no longer running on my page and some others as well. Why is that? Thank you. I don't know because I don't know what your type of content is. It's possible that it got flagged or shadow banned. So that's possible. So, yep. Bottom right-hand corner of the TubeBuddy menu, best time to publish. Okay, that might be the answer. Let me switch off from this screen mode over here while I log in and try to figure that out. So what I'll do is I'll just log in. I'll log out of the client's account and I'll log in over here under me. Xenocraft1212 says, hey Roberto, how much value do you place on the red-green arrows in the dashboard? I don't place as much value on that, and the reason that I don't is that in my case, I use them as an indicator. I don't use them as any kind of emotional, like, I don't worry about it. I just use them as, oh, okay, I know that now, and then I make a decision as to what I'm going to do about it. So I don't worry too much. Alright, so I found what I need in TubeBuddy. Let me bring that up real quick. So in TubeBuddy, in the quick links, best time to publish. So, in general for me, probably 4 p.m. in general or around that area. Not surprising to me, but that's for my data. But I can refresh this just to confirm that that's true. So it's recalculating it. It's going to take its time. In the meantime, Chandler asks, Roberto, should I be making videos for milestones like I've hit 100 subscribers? Maybe. Maybe. Depends on if you think your community would care or if they value that or if they want to celebrate with you. Alright, so according to TubeBuddy, my best time to upload currently would be 6 p.m. on a Wednesday, but I upload, or at least I try to when I'm not traveling to upload every day, but I could upload at 4 and get almost the same thing, or I could upload sooner. For me, this makes sense because I've kind of come to the understanding that one of the most active times on YouTube is Monday through Friday between 4 and 6 p.m. because why? The Philip DeFranco show is on between 4 and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time almost every day, except when he goes on early or late. So I kind of think that that's around the best time. Me, I just upload videos as soon as I can get them out unless I have a strategic reason or unless I have a backlog, and so I'm trying to get back to that place. But you know, that's why TubeBuddy. So again, if you guys want to get TubeBuddy, TubeBuddy.com/awesome is linked down below. Go get it. Use code Roberto'sBuddy to get 20% off with that affiliate link, and you get your discount. So, guys, I think that that's a good place to end this. We've been on for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm trying to keep the live streams under 2 hours. So, that's going to be it. So for right now, I will say thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, at the end of the month, we will be doing our 250,000 subscriber thank you live stream where I will give shout outs to everybody who donated in charity water based on my campaign over in Twitter. I would super appreciate you guys following me over in Instagram at Roberto Blake. Because there's a great amount of motivational content that I'm doing over there. Plus, there's some cool things I want to do. And once I get to 10,000 followers in Instagram, I'm going to be able to do swipe ups, which means I'm going to be doing some cool things with that with giveaways and some other cool promo stuff. So you guys want to check that out. Let's see, what else is going on? Reminder, I will be speaking at Vid Summit with Daryl Eves, Gary Vaynerchuk, and many others, Matt Pat from Game Theorist. So we will be all at Vid Summit in October. If any of you guys are creatives and you're going to Adobe Max, come say hi. I'll be over hanging out at Adobe Max in Vegas in November. So those are some of the upcoming speaking engagements. I'll probably try and do some kind of announcements in social about the next places that I'm going to be speaking. I'll also be at YouTube Creator Day in Atlanta next week. So if you guys are going to be at YouTube Creator Day Atlanta, definitely come and say hi because I'm going to be on a Q&A panel. YouTube asked me to do that. Also, early spoiler, this guy just got YouTube certified, so yay. So I'm now a YouTube certified expert. Eventually, when I can make that super official, there will be a video regarding that. Maybe I'll do a video about that. Maybe you'll just see me add the logo to places, but I don't know if I'll do a video about that. I don't know. Yeah. For me, that test was easy, but I could see for how for other people it could be grueling or hard. I think that there are 2 more certifications for YouTube that I want to take. I passed the one on audience growth, obviously. I'm doing the one on content strategy next for both creators, but then also for my company, Create Awesome Media, for us to be certified as a corporate company and not just me as an individual. So we'll have that. I think one of the next things I'm looking at is I've debated the merits of Adobe certifications, but for corporate training, it could be useful. I may make good money doing corporate training, but I think that it's still a valuable certification in the industry. If you guys aren't checking out certifications for your industry, consider that, especially if you don't have a college degree. Consider doing that just to see if it gives you a leg up, and they're usually cheaper. So, you know, paying $150 to take a certified exam and for whatever your quiz materials are, it's usually worth it if you can charge a client to offset that kind of thing in the future. So I would just look at those things. What else is going to be going on? Bunch of new content, bunch of collabs. Collabs with Sean Cannell, Daryl Eves, and Brett Conti are all coming to the channel. There is a cameo with Gary Vaynerchuk coming to my channel, so that's always fun. So that's kind of just the new stuff of what's going on with me, just to kind of wrap up here, you guys, in case you were wondering. Daily Stack, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you, man. So, yeah. Yep, those are all the things. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in to today's YouTube live stream. Remember, we will be doing probably another live Q&A if I can do one next week. I can't guarantee it because I'll be on the road and I'll be doing the YouTube Q&A at YouTube in Atlanta. So I'll be on that panel. There will be plenty of my speaking engagements coming up on the channel because I know you guys like seeing those if you aren't able to attend. Those are longer, but the value and the content in them is amazing. I'm also going to try and find a way to start getting the slides out. Maybe I'll do articles where I include those slides. But, you know, those are things that I have going on. More speaking is coming up. It's just been amazing traveling and meeting some of you. And that's pretty much it, guys. The only thing else I can tell you is that just don't be afraid to put out your best work even when nobody's watching, because eventually it's going to add up and it's going to matter in a big way, and I'm living proof that that can happen. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Resource links and articles are down in the description below, so you want to check those out. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other cool stuff on the channel. As always, you guys, thanks so much for watching, and don't forget, create something awesome today. Take care. Oh yeah, replay goes up after this. It takes like an hour. All right? See you later.